Hello, everyone. I'm Wayne, and welcome to Goals by the Numbers. If you're passionate about football and love diving into the stats behind every game, you've come to the right place. We break down performances, sometimes look at tactics, and make efforts to try and give you a statistical look at the biggest matches. Today, we'll look at Manchester United and their defeat against Wolves, Arsenal dropping points again, and Leicester losing at home to soon to be champions Liverpool. So, our first match, Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 2. Arsenal Arsenal took the lead with a set piece. Kiwar's header just inside the box before Eze equalised with a half volley, showing great technique. Arsenal regained the lead with another good goal, the third good goal of the match, this time from Trossard, who I have to say, every time I watch him play, he just seems like more and more of a really shrewd signing. Um, Arsenal did start to push harder later on in the game to try and end the match as a contest. And Saka had a really good chance with 10ish minutes to go, which was smartly saved by Henderson. Before Saliba uncharacteristically passed the ball to Mateta, as in literally just passed the ball to him, as Arsenal were trying to build it from the back. And Mateta turned and scored the chip into a empty net. Ray had moved wide of the goal as part of the process of building up the play at the back. So once Mateza got the ball, he wasn't really in position to save the shot. Arsenal, they must realise their chances of the title are over at this point. But they will again finish in second place this season. And they've also drawn far too many matches so far this season, 13 and counting. In fact, the only team to draw more matches than Arsenal is Everton. Now, I'm sure we'd all agree that Arsenal fans will not swap position with Everton fans, but vice versa, but the other way around, I'm sure they would do. Arsenal will be looking forward towards the game against upcoming match against PSG and looking to keep their form in the Champions League going, and obviously to try and beat them and just get into the final. Crystal Palace, Crystal Palace, I'm sure will be pleased with the result, especially before their upcoming FA Cup semi-final match against Villa. They have climbed the table after a really poor start to the season, which saw them get their second win after 14 matches. So 13 matches were played, the 14th match was played, and that's when they won their second game of the season, back in early December. How great would it be if they actually went on to win the FA Cup? So, some numbers. Crystal Palace had twice as many corners as Arsenal, that being 6. Crystal Palace actually had more shots in total, 15 versus the 12 of Arsenal, and had more clear-cut chances, 5 versus Arsenal's 2. So on to our next match, Manchester United 0, Wolves 1. Wolves beat Manchester United at Old Trafford in a match which seemed to play at a tempo between two teams that have nothing to play for in the league this season. Both are safe from relegation, and Manchester United have officially decided to put all their eggs in the Europa League basket. Wolves had their first choice goalkeeper pull out during the warm-up, and that meant that Daniel Bentley was able to make his first appearance in the Premier League this season. Wolves held reasonably firm for the entire match, making 27 clearances and 18 fouls, until Sarabia came onto the pitch and curled in a frustratingly really good free kick. Wolves will be happy to win their 5th match in a row. They never really had to get any higher than third gear. They had to be resolute in their defending, but they were never really pushed too hard. Manchester United had chances, but they never really looked like they were capable of scoring. And then with the fact that Bruno wasn't on the pitch for the first hour, you kind of figure out why. Manchester United changed their starting 11 to include Harry Amos, who was making his 3rd appearance of the season in the Premier League, and Tyler Fredrickson, who was making his Premier League debut. Both players, they had good games. It's also spectacular. They were good games, especially as young players. Manchester United dominated possession with 59%, which I guess shows attacking intent throughout the match. The intent was there, but there wasn't really any clinical edge. Again, the Bruno factor. Manchester United made a triple substitution with just 30 minutes to go, and at this point it was still 0-0 in an effort to win the match. Bruno Fernandes, one of those substitutes who came on, had a third of the shots that the team had in total, 12, with 2 of those shots being on target. Just goes to show. So, the numbers. For Manchester United, Amas made 4 shot creating actions, 3 crosses, in comparison to Christian Eriksen, who made 13, and 4 carries into the final third. Frederiksen made 6 passes into the final third, 4 clearances, and he won 5 out of 7 aerial duels. For Wolves, Cunha made 3 shot creating actions, 4 progressive passes, which is literally a pass that goes more than 10 yards forward towards the opponent's goal, and succeeded in 3 of his 4 take-ons while dribbling. Andre, who played just behind him in midfield, made 5 tackles. He also had 71 touches of the ball, the most of the team, and recovered 10 loose balls. So our last match, Leicester 0, Liverpool 1. Salah, channel favourite, hit both posts. Then indeed he hit a post, all in the first 10 minutes of the match. So at this point you're thinking both teams are showing real intent, and then there were no goals. Sometimes it happens in the first half. Leicester, to their credit, having been relegated, hadn't capitulated and was clearly still trying to get a result in the game. And in the middle of the second half, they actually had the ball in the back of the net, only for it to be ruled out by a foul on the goalkeeper, Alisson. On one hand, I think, yes, it was a foul. Did it look a little bit soft? Yes. But that could be because I come from an age group where you could literally run into the keeper and it arguably was okay. Finally, in a sequence where Salah hit the post again, Jota hit the post immediately afterwards, this is all from a corner, Trent Alexander-Arnold slammed the ball with a left foot shot into the back of the net, just inside the box. Leicester had made 42 clearances today. Oh, not today, but when they played the match yesterday. So their defence really was trying. Leicester will need to regroup for next season. Goals have been hard to come by, and their top scorer, Jamie Vardy, has 7. Since November, I found it interesting. Since November, every losing streak they have been on is longer than the previous streak. So the first losing streak was 3 matches, then 7 matches, then 8 matches. With 5 matches to go, 2 of those being against Southampton and Ipswich, they may have a chance to pick up some points against those 2 teams. So some numbers. Liverpool had 58% possession and 8 of their 28 shots were on target. Salah alone had 7 shots and made 5 shot creating actions. And of the 16 tackles Liverpool attempted, they won 12 of them. Leicester had only 1 corner, made 10 crosses, and back to Liverpool, because Leicester did dig in, but the numbers were quite low. Liverpool made 33 crosses, and Ndidi blocked 3 shots and made 1 clearance. So, today's questions. Can Arsenal mount a title challenge next season? Our second question. Will Manchester United's Europa League focus pay off in the end? And our last question. Outside of Salah, who should be Liverpool's player of the season? So, this has been Goals by the Numbers. Like, comment below, subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.